All right, everybody. So here is our agenda for today. I know I'm recording because I know a few students are still coming into the classroom at the moment, but I'll get started here. So first up, plans for tomorrow. I'll go over where to meet for the Immigrants Day event at the State House. And most of you, I believe, decided you wanted to meet at El Centro at 9. I will be at Park Street Station at 9:30. Either one is fine. So I'll go over that first. Then we'll go back to the Venezuelan exodus since 2014. For this, we'll go into 3 breakout rooms to discuss everything because it's quite interesting. So the exodus in 2014 is what is fairly well known, but I'm going to introduce something that's less well known. Venezuela was actually quite a prosperous nation and seemed to be, people seem to be living very well in the 2000s. So that's what I'll introduce to you before the break. And that'll actually play a part in the story of Carlos and Hennessy's. So then once we have a more nuanced story, we'll see how Carlos and Hennessy's targeted their victims. And then we'll go over questions 3 and 4 in the worksheet. And the worksheet is due tomorrow morning. Give everybody a little bit more time. Not tomorrow morning, I'm sorry, Thursday morning. Give everyone a little bit more time to finish it by Thursday. And that's all. Any questions? No questions? We'll keep going. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to go into the WhatsApp group. By the way, this was fun yesterday. I like this picture of everybody. Isn't that nice? Everybody looks so happy.
Yeah.
Good
It was really
storytelling,
nice.
Svetlana.
Nice picture.
Yeah, yeah, good work. Maybe I should win the photo contest. Okay, I'll enter it next year, next time. All right, so this was yesterday. We had a lot of fun. All right, and this is what everybody decided. So I will be at Park Street at 9:40 or 9:30, whatever it is. And most people, Olive, Rose, Lansine, Urik, Odney, Volodymyr, said they would be at meeting at El Centro at 9 a.m. And I'm going to show everybody the flyer. So here is the event. 29th Annual Immigrants Day at the State House. Beautiful building. It's the one with the big gold dome on the top. And so that is tomorrow, Wednesday, March 19th. You could either meet at 9 or 9:30. Oh, 9:30, not 9:40. Well, in El Centro, 9:30 means 9:45. Don't tell anyone I said that. So I'll be at Park Street Station at 9:30. You can meet me there or right at the fountain. And so that's where I will be at 9:30. And most of you decided to meet at 9. Anybody from most everybody from this class said they wanted to meet at El Centro. I understand a lot of people do live in Roxbury, so it does make sense to all go together. If you maybe live on the red line, like Dorchester, Mattapan, Quincy, it might be easier to meet at Park Street Station where I will be. Is anybody going to meet me at the Park Street Station? Just let me know, so I will make sure I wait for you there. Anybody not meeting at El Centro, but meeting me at Park Street Station? Going once, going twice. Okay, I will be at Park Street Station by myself. Don't worry, I'll bring a book to read. I'll be just fine. All right. See, Marlene gets my joke. Only Marlene. All right. So let's go back to the agenda. So that's the plans for tomorrow. Now let's discuss the Venezuelan exodus since 2014. So the word Exodus, it's biblical, but it's, oh, whoops, don't want to do that. It's a biblical word, but what it means is to leave. It's a large group of people leaving somewhere. It's different than the word migration, because migration implies that you're moving from point A to point B. An exodus is just an escape. That's a synonym of an exodus. People just getting out of somewhere for some reason. So let's take a look at what exactly is entailed with this Venezuelan exodus of 2014. We watched the beginnings of a documentary last week, but I'm going to give everybody 3 questions, and I'm going to break you up into 3 groups. So I'm going to use the computer to randomly put you into groups right now. 3 groups, 3 questions. Here we go. Okay. All right, perfect. Okay. So here are the 3 questions. I'll move my video panel down so everybody can see. All right, so the first question is right here. Question number 1. Why has 25% of Venezuela's population left the country? That one goes to Adriana, Josefina, Marlin, and Nicola. All right. So where you see your name, that'll be which breakout room you're going to be in. Breakout room number 1. Number 1, that's going to be Adriana, Josefina, Marlin, and Nicola. So where you see your name, you should probably write down the question right now. So that's what you want to discuss. All right, so next question. Why was Venezuela a relatively prosperous country in the early 2000s? Prosperous means doing reasonably well. People were living good lives. It seemed like a great place to invest in the 2000s. Relatively means moderately, not, the most developed country in the world, but a relatively stable place to be. So that is going to go to Cha-Cha, Svetlana, Urik, and Zeneda. Okay, that's going to be breakout room number 2.
Okay, teacher.
Hi, Zeneda, nice to see you.
Hi, teacher. Sorry. Yesterday I don't feel good.
I hope you're feeling better. All right.
Yeah, today, yes.
Good, good, good. All right, so
Thank you.
you're welcome. Breakout room number 3. Where have most Venezuelans relocated since 2014? That's a question of where. Which places have they come? And it's actually they're not scattered everywhere, but it's actually, there's 4 primary locations where they have their patterns of migration have shown up. So that is for Ibrahima, Juliana, and Miley is Milin, right? Mylin. Not Marlin, Mylin. Mylin. Okay. All right. There we go. Does everybody see which question you have?
Yes, teacher.
Excellent. Okay, make sure you write down your question. Write down your question. And you know what I'll do, just in case you forget, I will take a screenshot right now. Da, 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 da. Just in case you forget. There they are. Just in case you forget. Okay. All right. And I see some questions in the chat. Oh, I see. Thank you, Mylin. Okay, I'm going to erase this and I'll stop recording. You've got your questions. I'll make sure the closed caption is working for the video. Here we go. Okay, 4 have just arrived a bit late. Okay, for the people who've just arrived a bit late, Volodymyr and Yasil. Volodymyr and Yasil.
Yes, going.
Volodymyr and Yasil, please write down question number 3, please. Volodymyr and Yasil, please write down question number 3. You'll be in breakout room 3. Volodymyr and Yasil will be in breakout room 3. And Olive and let's see. Olive and Rose. Olive and Rose, you'll be in breakout room 2, okay? Olive and Rose, take breakout room. You'll take question number 2, breakout room number 2. So please write down the questions, and then let me know, and then I'll play the video, and then we'll discuss. Okay, so question number 3 down at the bottom. That's for Volodymyr and Yasil. Question number 2, Olive and Rose. Tell me when you're ready. Okay, ready or not? Let's do this. I'll stop recording. Now. Okay, everybody, so here are the questions. Question 1, 2, and 3, that's for each breakout room. Remember, look at your notes. And I'll be taking attendance when I go into the breakout rooms, okay? So please have your cameras on. Here we go.
Political violence.
Okay, go ahead and join your breakout rooms. Hey. Oh.
Spot de hoyo barrido.
Very good Spanish.
De hoyo barrido.
I accidentally hit the mute button. Okay. All right. Okay, everybody. So let's just have a quick recap. Any volunteers to share from groups 1, 2, and 3? So first question from group 1, why has 25% of Venezuela's population left the country? Anybody want to take that from group 1? And group 1, that was Adriana, Josefina, Marlene, and Mikola. Good discussions going on in that group. Anybody?
Can I talk, teacher?
Absolutely, please.
Okay, we are talking about the why has 25% of Venezuela population left the country. So the government, Chavez, after that Maduro, overspending and price control about the economy. That's why that situation became unsustainable. Is there not? Is there unsustainable
Yeah, unsustainable. That's
for
good.
po-
That's good.
for
No.
population? They not have they were a horrible inflation. That's why can the Venezuelan can take the food, can take the medicine because it's not is that is what terrible for them, but in that country they don't have anything. So the unique option is left the country, moving another place for looking for better life for their family, for take the basic. I don't know how can I say the basic and necessary. So for
Basic needs, yeah.
yeah, for top basic. That's why Venezuela was poverty, in the economy's increase. The country has been broken.
Very good. That was quoting one of the people interviewed. One word I introduced last week or the week before, hyperinflation. When you Adriana said horrible inflation.
Inflation.
In the report, it was over 300,000%, which essentially makes the money worth nothing. It means
Yeah,
all
their
of
money is nothing. Yeah.
the money is just money was just
They can't buy anything.
useless, completely useless. So that's what's called hyperinflation. So Americans, we like to complain, oh wow, eggs are expensive, or this, that, or the other has just gotten a little bit more expensive. Hyperinflation means it's not things are expensive, it means your money is useless, completely useless. All the money you put in the bank working your whole life, nothing.
That's was similar in my country in the 2000 years ago. Oh, we had a terrible inflation. Our money calls sucre.
Say it again.
That's why the terrible inflation. Our money is not valued for anything. That's why now Ecuadorian has the dollar.
Yeah.
That's why this was sustainable for us, but change the money.
Do you have memories from that when you were little?
Yeah, of course. When for use the dollar it was a complicated. I remember I was 10 years. That the inflation it was terrible for everybody because the people died a lot, lost a lot. that's why the immigration in Ecuador is a wild, well immigration, whale immigration that in that years for change the money. It's what's inflation, that our money is not valued for anything.
Very good, Adriana.
Yeah.
All right. Who wants to take question number 2? Why was Venezuela a relatively prosperous country in the early 2000s? Anybody from breakout room number 2? That was, I'll read the names from that breakout room. That was Chacha, Svetlana, Zenaida, Olive, and Rose. Anybody from that group want to take this question?
Teacher, the Venezuela prosper in the 2000 is the price the oil barrel.
Ooh, tell us more. That's correct. Say more, Zenaida. Say more, Zenaida.
No, the other students say more.
Oh, you say more.
Okay,
You
when
mean the price of the oil
Maduro,
value? Give us more details, more supporting, make a more complex sentence. Keep going.
okay, when the Maduro was president in the 2000,
Oh,
so
wait, no correction. He wasn't in the 2000s. He didn't come into power till later.
teacher.
We're talking about the past. He's president now.
Oh, no,
Hey,
oh
start
yeah,
again.
Chavez, sorry, okay,
Correct.
okay,
There you
I got it,
go.
now. So the Chavez was president in the 2000,
Correct.
so he elevated the price the oil barrel, so it did the Venezuela prosper in the time.
Very good. So it was the price of oil jumped very, very high, and Venezuela had a lot of oil. Can anybody add more details? I mean, Venezuela is sitting on oil now, but it's not a prosperous country. Can anybody? Venezuela is still sitting on oil, but people are struggling. Can anybody give more details regarding this?
The president Chavez spoiled the oil barrel. The the price in this time is the $7.
Well, no, you made that point. That's good. What I'm saying is Venezuela is still sitting on lots of oil today and still could be making lots of money from selling that oil, like Saudi Arabia. I mean, the price of oil has kept Russia afloat during this war. The price of oil keeps Iran going. The price of oil keeps Nigeria. Many countries that have oil. Canada is a big oil exporter, and the Venezuela still has all that oil to sell, but there was something is quite different from the 2000s to today. Can anybody
Because
help out?
Chavez,
Yeah, what are you thinking, Svetlana?
Chavez spent all money for social politics, for people, for and gave some benefit and for development of his country in that period.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So you could say this. I'll give you what Svetlana's talking about is generally overspending and mismanagement. Overspending and mismanagement. And it gets a little bit complicated. So yeah, overspending and mismanagement. Oh, I'm having a problem making a perfect circle there. So general overspending and mismanagement of that asset. Very good. And nice work to working together, Zenaida and Svetlana, a good team. Last question, where have most Venezuelans relocated since 2014?
Me, teacher.
Yes, go for it, Yasiel.
Yes. Since 2014, the majority of Venezuelans have so in neighborhood Latin American countries. In the first one is Colombia,
Yeah.
but two also in Peru, Chile, Ecuador, and the United States.
There we go. Yes, very good, very good. So yeah, so primarily to Colombia, Chile, Ecuador, Brazil, I think was a big one as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Adriana, does that make you feel bad that Ecuador didn't make the top 4?
What did you say, teacher?
I'm
Sorry.
joking. I'm joking. I said, does that make you feel bad that Ecuador didn't make the top 4?
No.
You're not going to ask
Okay.
Colombia, hey, share, bring some over here. What's going on? Why do you keep them all?
Ecuador has the special I don't know, the way for the Venezuela for take another country, because Ecuador is near to Colombia, near to Peru. That's why the Ecuador is the best place for Venezuela. Live wild time, but white, but not at all. Right? They move another country. Some people live in Venezuela, live in Ecuador, but the majority is moving Colombia or Peru.
Yeah, and it doesn't make you feel bad. It doesn't make anybody cry in Ecuador.
Yeah.
Americans don't really think about this because we get so many people all the time. We're so fortunate. We get all these talented people coming from here, coming from there. We like to think we're special, but
Yeah,
yeah, and that's why we have an Immigrants Day celebration tomorrow to celebrate everybody.
yeah.
All right. Okay. So these are the 3 questions. Now here is this is predominantly well known today. What fewer people know about that I remember very well is the 2000s. All right. Believe it or not, in the 2000s, Venezuela did this. Who can, we're going to discuss this tomorrow. Who can read this right here?
The title, teacher?
Go for it, Ezekiel. Yeah.
All right. Venezuela donated oil to Americans in poverty in 2006.
Yeah, that's true. Sounds crazy, but it's true. What does that mean?
Like Venezuela, gave oil to Americans who didn't have in the years 2006. Venezuela gave them oil.
Correct. Yes. So if anybody is benefits from, I have in the past, anybody part of an energy assistance program, if you have trouble paying your electric bill or your heating bill, there are social programs in this country that will basically find sources to help people who don't have a lot of money pay their energy bill, especially in the wintertime. And Venezuela's government in the 2000s was a huge donor, but it was particularly to different American cities. Chicago, Boston was a big recipient. I was living in New York at the time, and I remember this very well. Many Americans were very, very happy with the Venezuelan leadership because you're freezing, and you know how cold it can get. Does anybody write in the chat? I'm gonna put a question in the chat. Okay. Everybody take a look at what I wrote in the chat and then write me I wrote a question. Does this sound too weird to be true? And you can just take a look and answer in the chat. What do you think? Venezuela was donating to Americans in poverty 20 years ago.
Because teacher, Venezuela have the biggest reserve for the oil in the planet.
Correct.
In Dominican Republic and Venezuela for a most decade sell the oil in the low price because the relation in the last year in the generation two countries help to help. The relationship for the government is excellent and good in the history for history.
I like cheap oil just as much as anybody.
Yes.
I like it. I don't like to pay too much money for utilities. I can totally understand that. Did everybody see what I wrote in the chat?
Yes, I see it, teacher. I got it.
Okay. So here it is. These are two reports from over nearly 20 years ago. Here's the first. I'm going to stop recording. Here we go. So yes, I remember when there would be these ceremonies of oil trucks delivering oil from Venezuela to various places. And I remember living in New York at the time, thinking it was a great gesture and a nice and kind of a soft slap in the face to American leadership. So I remember very much being pleased with this, the idea of the generosity of the Venezuela government at that time. The comments in the chat we had some very insightful comments. Here we go. Let me just bring this up. Okay. First comment in the chat is, my question was, does this sound weird, too weird to be true? Ezekiel said, does not sound weird because Venezuela is one of the biggest oil reserves in the world. Sounds perfectly normal. Then Svetlana said, it sounds very weird. What was the interest of Venezuela? Question mark. Mikola said they wanted to show that they cared about poor Americans. This is a part of their propaganda. Zaneta says, this is business. All right. Very insightful comments from 4 students. Any other comments? All right. So this one I'm going to share. I'm going to wait for Thursday to share. But I posted an older report in the Google Classroom stream that we can use to just on Thursday. Here it is. Okay, there it is. So right here I said, this is a report from 2006 when Venezuela was such a rich country, its leaders donated oil to help poor American cities like Boston. How help the poor, not poor cities, the poor in American cities. I need to clarify. How do you think people like Carlos and Hennessy's felt about this? So, given that Venezuela at one time was so prosperous, it was donating oil to poor people in the richest country in the world. So poor Americans are poor people in the richest country. Think about what to discuss on Thursday. How do you think people like Carlos and Hennessy's felt about this? People who would eventually be part of that exodus, people who had to leave the country. That's something to get the idea in your mind, because we'll have a discussion about this on Thursday. I can see the wheels turning in the mind of Zaneta. Don't worry, you have time. So this is what to think about for Thursday, but let's go back to a question we were looking at last week. After 2014, part of that huge exodus, people had to relocate, completely start their lives all over when Venezuela became unlivable. And Carlos Castañeda and Génesis Martusiniello began their crime spree targeting individual wealthy Venezuelans in South Florida, people specifically who had profited from being part of Maduro's government. And the question we looked at last week that I think, even though I've asked the question many times, I don't think everyone's quite fully understood the gravity of the crime. How did Carlos and Génesis rationalize their crime? Mikola said last week the idea in their minds of stealing from the wealthy who could not enter their mansions because of U.S. sanctions against the government, they would see themselves as a modern Robin Hood. And the question I said in class yesterday that I'm going to ask right now to clarify it and keep it in more simple language: were Carlos and Génesis bad people, or were they good people doing bad things? So if you don't quite understand the analogy of a modern day Robin Hood, that is one argument. Were Carlos and Génesis bad people, or were they good people who decided to rationalize doing bad things because they were perfectly normal, law-abiding citizens, came to America working hard, and then became leaders of an organized crime organization targeting specifically members of the Venezuelan government who had hurt them? So that's the question. Were Carlos and Génesis bad people, or were they good people doing bad things? Now, let me know if everybody understands the question. I'll put it in the chat as well. Were Carlos and Génesis bad people, or were they good people doing bad things? All right, looks like we're at that halfway point now. I will set a timer and we'll come back on the break, but you want to be able to come up with an argument to discuss in the next part of class. So I'm going to pause the recording. We'll take a break.
It's talking the same person for the Carlos and Genesis, the operation. And
Exactly.
Visit the person, the check the properties, it complex is applied for the inspection. He is the applied or taxation for the property. And I say.
Perfect. If everybody was listening intently to what Josefina just said, you have the right answer to question number 3. Can anybody repeat what Josefina just said? Josefina, that is absolutely perfect. So yes, that's what's called social engineering. They had to make a lot of phone calls, including convincing the front desk manager that they were in fact the real owner. Excellent. The next question is, what is unique about Florida real estate, which allows Carlos and which allowed Carlos and Hennessy's to follow through with their plan. Zenaida, you were actually explaining some of this the other day. Anybody want to take this one? If not, we could save it for Thursday.
Nicola is know the answer.
He doesn't have to share unless he wants to. I saw you, Josephina and Nicola were doing a lot of good work yesterday.
Yes,
together.
yesterday I talking about this question.
Josephina, you want to tell us again? Tell us what. Give us
Yes,
the go for it.
I know. The customs in Florida for business for the real estate. Any person asks a question about the persons present for the obtain any property is a custom in this in Florida. There are a lot of hard landlord to when you came to obtain the credit for buy the property and no is not let for the documents, not reviewed and check the documents, but hard landlord put hide a person for interest. The situation is a permit. Genesis and Carlos is did operation about the property obtain the owner property in Florida. Is good the question? Is the answer is good for me?
Your answer is perfect, but
Okay.
well, I would like everybody in class to consult you on Thursday in English to find the answer.
Okay.
Teacher,
Yes.
just I would like to say something about this.
Yes.
About the fourth question.
Yes.
Yeah, I think one of the thing that helped them to be able to do that, this is the absenteeism of the owners of these properties.
That would actually be an answer to the first question, but the second question is nothing to do with the fact that the owners were not there. That's the first question. Why were so many mansions empty? What's unique about Florida real estate is exactly what Josephina just said.
Right.
Do you remember what Josephina just said a little while ago?
I just come right now. But she started talking, and I didn't catch everything she had just said.
So Josephina has all of the answers you're looking for.
All right.
So
I will consult Josephina and
yes, on
I can
Thursday,
get the
your Josephina is your best friend.
Okay, maybe I don't
She
know. I
and
don't know.
Nicola were intently looking through the whole article, finding the answers.
All right. Maybe
Yes.
Josephina on Thursday he can come in class like a consultant, and like she gonna be paid per hour.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Josephina, you have to set your rate for
Yes.
tutoring.
Yes,
You can make time to consult Josephina in her office as well.
Okay, that's okay.
Ezequiel,
Yeah.
I can.
Okay, that's okay.
Thank you. It's no problem.
Very good. Okay, everybody, so we'll finish these two in class on Thursday. That's when this assignment is due, but try your very best to go through the entire article, answer each one of these questions. To finish class today, let's go over the question I mentioned before breakout rooms, before we took the break. Let's give your own, I want to hear your opinion. Were Carlos and Hennessy's bad people or good people doing bad things? Because last week we talked about how do they rationalize their crime? How did perfectly normal law-abiding people become very sophisticated criminals? It's not, and now they're both in prison. So that's the process of rationalizing it in their own minds, doing something that's not normal, that has real life consequences, and now they are in prison. So in your own opinions, were Carlos and Hennessy's bad people or good people who chose to do bad things? Because now we have a full picture of the world that they came from and exactly who the victims were of the and the government corruption that they were seeking revenge for. So were Carlos and Hennessy's bad people or were they good people doing bad things? That's the question. Take that into breakout rooms right now to wrap up today. Let's see, I'll recreate the breakout room so you can have we can mix it up, talk to some different people. Here we go. Let's recreate breakout rooms. There we go. Let's recreate them again. All right. And you can join your breakout rooms now. Were they bad people or good people doing bad things? Join your breakout rooms now.